Well, finally, just when it seems Tennessee Crossroads has uncovered every conceivable bed and breakfast theme, our buddy Al Bex finds one more. It's over in West Tennessee in Martin, and it's actually a couple's fantasy project called Our Backyard Town, a place where you can spend a quiet evening in another town from another time.
The bed and breakfast industry is flourishing all across Tennessee and across the country as far as that's concerned. And the basic recipe is about the same. You get a very quiet evening, a comfortable room, and a hearty breakfast the next morning to send you on your way. Well, there's a place in Martin that is all of that, plus a whole lot more. You see, there you get an entire town. Kathy and Mike Barnett are the proud owners of Our Backyard Town, which is exactly what the name implies. It is a town in the backyard, complete with pretty much what you would need in the 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s. But rest assured, it does have enough of a modern flair to make it comfortable. Is this something they've always wanted to do? Well, yes and no.
Well, at the beginning, it was just a place to display our stuff. Since then, we've had a lot of people tell us that this reminds them of their childhood in the earlier times when we didn't have so many big box stores and you had the small hometown where everybody came together and you could be waited on easily. As I started collecting old cars, I found other store items. Well, I just gathered them up and put them together, and as the stores grew, the things that I looked for grew, or my desire to look for them. So we went to flea markets and antique shops and other things. And you can't just take it all and put it together overnight. You just have to find stuff and make it work in.
There are two parts of Our Backyard Town, and they display two very distinct eras. The 50s on one side of the street, the 20s on the other. And what do we see here?
Well, this used to be Mike's grandmother and granddaddy's smokehouse, and we've turned it into a man's place. We call it Clint's Cut and Chew, and the cut is for the barbershop and the chew is for the tobacco store.
This building was on site?
Yes, sir.
Right where it stands right now?
Right.
What have you tried to depict here with the cut and chew?
Well, we tried to let it look like they just went to lunch, and you walk back into the 1920s with a barbershop chair and a man's place. It's got a post office and a place where people were sitting down playing checkers and maybe had their shoes shined.
And the Parker's Grocery, is this reminiscent of something in your past?
My mother's maiden name was Parker, and her uncle, Frank Parker, had a grocery store in Hickman, Kentucky.
You remember the Bob White Cafe type of things?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. We had the City Cafe in Union City, Tennessee, where I grew up, and so it was a small little cafe like that, and when you walked in, they knew you by name, you know, so that made it pretty special.
Also popular in the 20s was the soda shop, where people would meet and greet. Now this is Kathy's favorite place because she gets to make the banana splits.
Okay, we got chocolate, caramel, and strawberry. With whipped cream, lots of whipped cream, and a cherry on top. Order up!
This town is not only home to Mike and Kathy and to all their visitors, but also it's home to one of the largest antique car collections in West Tennessee, and it's Mike's pride and joy.
I tried to pick out cars that were in certain eras, like I wanted a pre-13 car, so I bought the 1911 Maxwell. Then I wanted a big open car, I bought the 31 Cadillac LaSalle. Then I wanted one of the gangster-looking cars, so I bought the 39 Packard Victoria convertible. So each car has served its purpose.
Not to be lost in all of this is the bed and breakfast aspect of Our Backyard Town, the focal point of which is this log cabin.
When our local bypass was going through 4-lane, it was out here at the edge of town. There was a barn that the bypass was going right through the middle of, and inside this barn, the major part of it was a log cabin. So we tore the barn down, and you don't always get all the good logs out of one building because they've been used for other purposes. So we run around this part of the country looking for other buildings and then assembled the whole thing.
All of this is for show, of course, but it is a way that Mike and Kathy can preserve a bit of the past so we don't forget. If you're one of those who like a quiet, relaxing time, a step back in time at your own town, then our backyard town is for you.
I think more than anything, we're just trying to make a place for people to relax. And then when we had open house one time, we had the Harrisons to sit down at that bar in there and eat a banana split, and they said that was their first date in a drugstore at a soda fountain, just like that. And that's when we kind of realized that we were making people feel comfortable and remembering when they first dated and things like that. And so that's what it's for, is to enjoy and relax and remember.